Hulk versus Thor, something that everyone loves to see. Well, recently, the current versions of them battled it out. Spaceship Hulk is a concept in which Bruce Banner is in his own mindscape, basically piloting the Hulk. Over on Thor's side, he is currently the king of Asgard and just gained the full might of the Odin Force. When Banner took Hulk over, he made the Avengers very angry and leaped into the multiverse. But Thor chased him, and he just caught up. Welcome to where reality meets fiction, where your stories are read back to you in a dramatic fashion, where I get to pretend to be a voice actor. This is Comicstorian. We take the time to make you a comic book expert by filling you in on the big moments happening within the world of comics right now. We do cut out the B-plots, limiting our panel usage, which helps us prevent copyright problems, but also allows you to have something to collect, as there is more story and more artwork in the books themselves. And today's video is sponsored by Surfshark. Surfshark is the VPN that I've recently started using. And let me tell you why it's the one that you should start using as well. Surfshark is an easy and affordable VPN that keeps you safe and private with everything that you do online. Browse the internet without worry of anyone seeing what you're doing or where you're doing it from. Need access to something that your country doesn't offer? Surfshark allows you to virtually travel the world to reach the content that you desire. Maybe it's watching movies or TV shows, or maybe it's finding access to that comic book you've been looking for. Need to check your bank info while on a public network? Surfshark will help keep your information protected. All of that and more with the VPN Surfshark. And right now, you can save when you get Surfshark VPN by going to surfshark.com/Comicstorian and entering the promo code Comicstorian for 83% off and an extra 3 months for free. That's surfshark.com/Comicstorian and the code Comicstorian at checkout for 83% off and an extra 3 months for free. Protect yourself online today with Surfshark. Now you might be wondering why I titled this a full story. Well, it's a crossover, which may be difficult for people to acquire. So this is going to feature Banner of War Alpha and Omega, and some Hulk issues and some Thor issues. So let's get into Banner of War Alpha. Uatu the Watcher sits amongst the crowd of strange, cheering aliens that surround him. He reaches down, pulling out some popcorn from his bowl, and he observes what happens in this and many other universes. He has watched Thor become the king of Asgard, fight against Galactus, the Black Winter, and the living soul of Mjolnir itself. He has watched Odin fall only to have his soul transferred into Mjolnir. He has also watched Bruce Banner return from the bowels of hell, take control of the Hulk and pilot him like a spaceship, while the Hulk's consciousness continues in an endless battle in the engine room. He takes another handful of popcorn, while these two stories collide. The aliens cheer as Thor slams his hammer into the Hulk's jaw once more. "Stop this, Banner! I know you can hear me somewhere deep inside! Control your rage!" Thor says, trying to reason with his friend, but the Hulk just glares at him, punching him again. "Thor, shut up!" Banner says through Hulk's voice. They slam into another world, where the cartoon-like aliens run in fear. Thor struggles to his feet as the Hulk lands next to him. "I can hear you just fine." Thor looks down at his hammer, his father's voice in his mind. "Get up, boy! If the ape wants a battle, let's..." He shouts, but Thor glares at his weapon. "Will you let me handle this, father?" Meanwhile, Banner is arguing with a projection of Betty in his mind, who is warning him that he might not be able to defeat Thor. Both combatants whirl at each other. "Who are you talking to?" Hulk asks, and Thor cocks an eyebrow. "Who are you talking to?" he asks, and they pause for a moment before rushing at each other with a bellow of rage. "Aye, that's more like it!" The two lock in combat again, but Thor shouts for Sif to send them somewhere where they can battle safely. The bright light of the Bifrost then envelops them both, ripping them out of this plane of existence into another location. The Rainbow Bridge grabs them, dropping them off the Black Hand of God, a severed hand of a celestial that is now the home to the most gruesome fighting tournaments. Uatu smiles, munching on his popcorn, as the speakers announce the next surprise fight. "Ladies and gentlemen, place your bets now as we present the mighty Thor and the indestructible Hulk." The audience cheers and the two Avengers stand apart, already tired from this ordeal. Hulk's equipment cracked, Thor's lightning crackling around him. "Round one, fight!" Hulk tries to speak with Thor, but the god isn't having it, slamming him in the face with his hammer. 17! He shouts, but Banner is confused, not even knowing what he is talking about, and Thor smacks him again, bringing down a bolt of lightning with the blow. Have you forgotten already? Is killing this easy for you now? He asks, slamming the hammer down again, leaving it where it lay, pinning the Hulk to the ground on his stomach. 17 people dead in El Paso, he says, Thor standing over his friend, apologizing as he explains that someone can cage a monster for only so long. And so this falls to me. If it eases you, I do not revel in this victory over you, Banner. Hulk bellows in rage, trying to explain, Hulk didn't kill those people! Struggling against the hammer that holds him in place. Back in the cockpit, which is just a mindscape within the Hulk's head, Banner orders the computer to increase the engines to level 8. He begins to pull on a suit, ordering the computer to give him full haptic control. I'm going in, he says as the helmet slides over his head, smiling as the computer reminds him that the Hulk has fought Thor before, but Bruce hasn't. Exactly. We fought harder. Let's fight smarter, he says, and his body convulses as he orders the computer to download the memories of all of Hulk's fights with Thor into Banner's brain. Outside, at the actual battlefield, the rage of the beast rises, and he continues to push against the hammer, bellowing in pain as he stands up, allowing Mjolnir to punch a hole through his back. Hulk stands a gaping hole in where his stomach used to be, and he stares down Thor. Pick up your hammer, he says simply. Thor narrows his eyes, holding up his hand so that the weapon returns to him. Now, where were we? Hulk asks with a smile, and with lightning speed, he grabs Thor, slamming him into the ground by his head. Get up, boy! What are you doing? Odin shouts in the god's mind. I'm trying, damn it! Thor hisses as he struggles, and Mjolnir begins to float in the air as Banner still tries to figure out who Thor is talking to. Fine, must I do everything myself? Odin asks as he flies up into the air, calling forth a massive bolt of lightning as he returns to the fight, slamming into Hulk and knocking him away. Thor gets up to his feet, wielding his hammer, as he continues to fight with the Hulk, and the two trade blows back and forth, finally punching through the bowels of the celestial space station. Thor, listen to me. When I struck the Hulk, I felt something. Odin tries to explain, and Thor nods, feeling that something is wrong as well. The Hulk seems haunted, that this isn't just another Hulk Banner situation. Let me loose, boy. I have an idea, Odin says. And Thor throws Odin at the beast, letting the hammer slam into his face. Inside, Banner is yelling in this cockpit for evasive maneuvers, but the hammer hits him, and he is thrown out of the haptic suit. He tries to struggle to his feet, but he looks up at the soul of Odin. Bruce Banner, I would have words with thee. Back on Earth, the Avengers and the other heroes have gathered together. We have them, Tony explains as he shows a hollow projection of the Black Hand of God. Reed looks at Tony, asking how they have found the Hulk in deep space. And the genius turns away, explaining that he has several deep space satellites that are programmed to pick up certain sonic disturbances. Reed is genuinely impressed, but Tony turns it back to them. I'm kidding. Thor's Ravens told me where the Hulk is, he says, gesturing to Spider-Man, who the Ravens are sitting on. Captain America steps forward, stating that they should wait to see if Thor can stop the Hulk. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go fight him, Tony says, and Steve steps forward, ordering Tony to stand down. But his eyes widen as he realizes that Stark isn't even in the meeting room. I'm never at these meetings. I have places to be, Tony explains. But back over in the Hulk's mindscape, Odin punches Banner in the face. I am no man of science, Bruce Banner, but I am willing to wager that killing you will bring this monster down. He snarls, and Bruce looks at him, knowing that Odin is merely a spirit, and reminding Odin that he is inside of the Hulk's mind. The cables pull out of the wall, wrapping themselves around Spirit Odin and stopping his attack. Outside, the Hulk slowly begins to get to his feet. Banner, are you in there? Thor says hesitantly. Inside, Banner turns away from Odin. Activate auto defense! He shouts at the computer, and rockets open up out of the Hulk's combat gear, firing point blank into Thor's face. But Odin isn't done. He breaks free out of the cables, kicking Banner in the face, dropping him to the ground. Bruce tries to plead with him, but Odin wraps a cable around his throat, beginning to strangle him. Not bad for a ghost, eh, boy? he asks, and outside, Thor is pushing forward, headbutting Hulk hard, throwing Odin and Bruce to the floor inside of the spaceship. Everything goes black for a moment, but then Bruce comes around to the sound of Odin's voice. "Banner, wake up! What in hell have you done? Where am I?" Odin asks, and Bruce gets to his feet, shocked to discover that they are now back in the bar at El Paso. Fear crosses Banner's face, and they watch as past Banner enters the bar, Bruce explaining to Odin that after everything with the Green Door and Hell, he and the Hulk had come to a truce. They had decided to work together, but something was wrong. Something was inside of Banner, begging to be set free. They brought something out of the Green Door, and it started to infect others at the bar, turning them green, turning them angry. The bikers had become versions of a Hulk, and Banner began to attack them. When I opened up my eyes again, when I could move, I saw black. Bruce says quietly, and they watch as something else takes control of Bruce. Something takes the pilot's seat. The small scientist begins to become filled with rage, attacking the bikers in a vicious manner, ripping through them, blood splattering the room. That's when Bruce took control again, and it was all over. The bar burned before him, and he fell to his knees. I stood there all night, hoping someone would show up and kill me. Bruce explains to Odin, but the god doesn't understand. He doesn't know how Bruce built everything that he is using to pilot the Hulk. But at that moment, a crack of lightning hits them again. "Thor, no, damn you! Not yet!" Odin shouts, and then he disappears, Mjolnir flying through the air, returning to Thor's hand. "Damn you, boy! I need more time! Send me back!" Odin shouts at his mind, but Thor shakes his head. "We don't have any more time. Why is that?" Thor smiles. "The calvary has arrived." Inside of his mind, Bruce is shouting for Odin. "Please, come back! You don't understand! Hulk doesn't know that he's not in a simulation!" Outside, the Hulk looks up, but Banner isn't driving anymore. All that is behind the Hulk's eyes is monstrous rage. "Hey, Bruce, long time no see. Sorry to have to do this, big guy, but I'm gonna have to ask you to step out of the vehicle," Tony says, landing his massive celestial mecha on the black hand of God. And there you have it. I know we're leaving this on a cliffhanger. We intended to do this full story, but they pushed back the last issue. It comes out in the middle of August, so make sure you like, subscribe, sign up at our Patreon, patreon.com/Comicstorian for early access, and the moment the new issue drops, we're going to be hitting you with the final 2 issues of this storyline. Thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll see you next time right here